Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. These are the general energies, trends, and themes for everyone for the week ahead. So let's dive into it. All of this is obviously put through the guise of my intuitive message. So every week I'll go into my intuition and I'll ask for a message of some sort. Sometimes it's like a mini movie that plays out in my head. Sometimes it's a thought, an impression, a color. Sometimes it's all of the above. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So, this week's intuitive message, and I really hope I'm wrong about this one. I think this is more, look, so we say so as many of you know, part of my heritage is Greek, and they say that when you're shuffling the cards and they fly out of your hands like that, sorry about that, it kind of suggests that there's going to be a lot of shit kicking off. And unfortunately, the intuitive message this week as well, is it's not an easy one. And the intuitive message that I got was escalation and isolation. And what I saw with this was a whole bunch of tanks that were made of stone, specifically made of stone. So they weren't green, they were all like sort of rock, stone, grey. And I wonder how this is going to show up on the wider world stage. I mean, I hope it doesn't sort of escalate, but I feel like it may be a possibility. And, you know, we've got the Gate 29 and perseverance. And the message behind this card is about persevering. It's about pushing ahead, right? No matter what else happens or sort of befalls you. This intuitive message, when I saw it, they were kind of sat still. So they weren't particularly doing anything, but, you know, when I saw it and when you hear the message like escalation and isolation, there's going to be a moment where I think someone or something or somewhere is cut off in a sense. You know, for whatever the reason or all the rest of it. I tend not to get into sort of politics and all the rest of it, just because it's divisive by its very nature, and I believe it's created to keep people divided, right? At base level, whatever you are, wherever you're from, whoever you love, however you identify, what we all share in common is the world and the fact that we are human, right? If we all start there, everything else we can work towards finding some form of a common ground, right? And if you're not open for that, I can assure you we are not people, right? What I mean by that is I don't have time for anybody that is completely intolerant of anybody else, right? There's always a dialogue, can always be opened. Okay, now with the Gate 29 and perseverance card, if you see the hummingbird on there, they're so beautiful little creatures, right? And the way that they make it look so easy, but then when you slow it down, you see those wings are absolutely going for it. It's kind of like ducks, right? They sit on the surface, swans, ducks, they sit on the surface of the water and they look so calm and regal, but underneath those feet are flapping all the time. And the message behind this card is, you know, perseverance is really going to get you through sort of the week. And also at that moment where you feel like you are alone, where you feel like maybe you are isolated, this is one of those weeks where, yes, I think always, if you're feeling alone in any way, shape or form, absolutely reach out to your friends and family. But this week, the thing about perseverance, it shows you your resilience, right? And I think this week, this is what we are being asked to cultivate in some regard. For our direction cards, how do we best tap into this? Well, the Knight of Swords suggests that we have to fight through it. Not necessarily fight with others, but to fight through it. You've got this with the Ace of Wands, right? Finding a way to put your ideas forward. You've got this with the Eight of Wands, right? So finding a way to put your ideas forward. That's the Ace of Wands. And then with the Eight of Wands, This is about sifting through the information that's coming in. The Knight of Swords is quite a reactive card. It's quite it's a battle card. It's a challenge card, right? It tends to be fast, aggressive communication. With the Perseverance energy here, you can find, right? You need to use your brain, use your smarts, use your intelligence to find a way to get your message across that doesn't create more of a problem. That's what you're really being encouraged to do here. On the wider world stage, we are going to see some form of advancement that is likely going to have something to do with people, you know, escalating situations that have been ongoing for some time. I do feel like this will bring us some kind of I think it will bring us closer to a resolution. But I think this is one of those moments where potentially we enter a peak of some sort, right? And so there is that sort of message behind all of this as well. When it comes to our insight cards, we've got the Strength card, makes sense, with the Six of Cups, okay, and the Ace of Pentacles, right? So what hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals do you have, did you have before the world beat them out of you? Are you able to dust those hopes, dreams, and goals off to maybe take something off the back burner or off the shelf? Are you ready, willing, and able to return to a time in your life where things were better because you were more self-disciplined? There's something about this that suggests a part or a version of you, because we're not parts of us, we're always whole, right? No matter what the world or the media tries to tell you, you are always perfect, whole, and complete. You lack nothing. You just need a reminder of that. But when I see this, it does kind of tell me that this is about a past version of you that was actually optimal, right? That was sort of really in the right sphere, that really knew or understood themselves, or certainly how to go about creating or getting what it is that they desired on a material level. This week, it's going to be highlighted to you where perseverance is needed, but also where some form of self-discipline or even some form of self-organization that you had previously is what you need right now in order to go after your hopes, wishes, goals, and dreams. Now, when it comes to those of you that are starting new work this week, or maybe starting a business this week, this bodes very, very well for you. There are going to be hiccups. You will need to find your perseverance. You will also need to find a way to develop your resilience. And I think that's what this week is really going to do for a lot of us. The Ace of Pentacles as well, usually homes, dwellings, etc. And with the Six of Cups, on the wider world stage, I think this is going to be a development around things like, orphanages, places and spaces where young people are kept, and how they move through the system, I think is going to be a very big discussion this week. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. All in all, the other way that this will potentially come about as well, that discussion around children and young people and what certain situations that are unfolding in the world because people are crazy. My whole argument is this, excuse me, whatever side of the fence you sit on, whatever your ideas, ideologies, philosophies, beliefs, or whatever, if the people that called the shots on sending others in to do battle on their behalf were on the front line, all war would end tomorrow. They're brave enough to send somebody else in to do all of that, but they're not brave enough to stand on the front line. No. If they were, right, if that's how these things were escalated and these things were started to say, okay, you know what, you think this is a good idea or you think this needs to be fought over, you go and fight, right? You lead by example, there'd be no war. There wouldn't. It's only the fact that people follow blindly that these things are able to happen, right? There's not enough self-governing or self-determination or self-sovereignty, quite frankly. That's my 2 cents on the whole thing. Anyway, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I will see you next week.